Greetings. Thank you all for sticking around. I am Snowbear22, and joined with me is the fancy one.
Hello everyone. Looking forward to this race here that's about to start.
So just from a cdinprov, I believe, is 0-2 for the tournament so far, and I believe Tixij is 0-1.
Yes, so both are looking to get their first win here, and CD is in an extra tough position since she basically needs to win this match and her match tomorrow against Lord Baccarat if she wants to progress to the bracket stage.
Of course, that'll be definitely a tough match, but first, at least a win here would give her a chance of getting through the wild cards.
And we are already starting off. Poison Barb is on the card, so I'm expecting a Friday start date.
CDN probably started with Friday. I didn't see what Tix started with, but I'm hoping it was not the Saturday I thought I saw.
Both did choose Friday. So while we wait for them to get to the starters, I had a chance to look over this card. What are your initial thoughts, Snow?
My initial thoughts is I see that Berry Juice Elixir and on that diagonal, and I'm really hoping that it's available because that is one of the hardest goals to get.
I agree, and just to make sure we're catching this here, the starters were Cubone, Arbok, and I missed
and Parasect.
I was looking at this card, and one of the things that I really like about this is Mantine, Skarmory, and Steel-type Pokemon are on the same row, so if you do manage to find that Skarmory, you get 2 goals for the price of 1.
Absolutely, it's very good goal synergy. And we have that Arbok, and it's got its moveset is okay, but it's got a nice TM attached to it. That is, TM23 is actually Jasmine's TM, but that's a little small bit. So we see a quick Murkrow, Murkrow, and Dragonair on there, as well as a Slowking, but I don't think any of those 3 are on the card today.
Unfortunately not, and it does look like they are about to pick up the first item. And let's see what it is.
Poison Barb.
Perfect.
I actually prefer to pick up that item on the way back, when you can have some Pokeballs and it's okay to take extra encounters. Before getting the Cherry Grove, I tried not to do that.
Yeah, and picking it up here isn't going to be a huge time save, because again, as we mentioned, both runners set their day to Friday to be able to pick it up after Violet City. But, I mean, that is a couple seconds save, because now you don't have to talk to that little NPC.
Regardless, it just means that it could have been any goal on any day on the card, which is totally fine. Although we see Tix with the first runnable Pokemon, or potentially runnable Pokemon in Moltres. Although I hope Thrash doesn't do okay. No, Thrash will be okay not to two-shot it. And I say that, and of course it gets a critical hit.
Oof. And CD finding a Pidgey for her first Pokemon. Gonna go ahead and catch it.
So that's really good for both stop evolving 4 times and Pokemon with 4 moves sharing its types. It even has Soft Boiled, which we know, which is at least a normal move in there. So that's one less thing it has to be taught over.
Exactly, and there's going to be a lot of guaranteed normal moves here coming up, so that should be a very easy goal for her to get. Tix
Just
just...
assuming it gets in the ball, though.
I was gonna say, both runners just not having good luck getting these Pokemon in the balls. Yeah, both ending up having to run away here, unfortunately.
In Vanilla Crystal, I don't believe you're able to get the 3 birds in Vanilla... 3 legendary birds in... I think those are exclusively traded in from the older games, actually.
Yeah, I did not have Crystal growing up, I had Silver, and I know Silver, I believe you can get them.
Really, it's been too long for me. I had Gold as a kid, and my brother had Silver. But regardless, with the randomizer, all Pokemon are obtainable in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, though unfortunately, in terms of this race, not always necessarily true. If it's catchable in Kanto, very rarely do runners end up going to Kanto, so those Pokemon are basically out of the question for this particular race. And Tix having trouble with the first rival fight, getting both attracted and confused. It's gonna eat up a little bit of time. It's really unfortunate, but he does get baited, so that...
So this... It's actually really interesting because Rival 1 will heal you regardless of if you win or lose. And he just moves on.
Tix getting a couple more Pokeballs so he can try to catch a main again, but having wasted, both runners having wasted all their beginning Pokeballs that they bought is really unfortunate here. CD also having a slow battle with the first rival, having to burn through the 2 Pokemon, but finally does get through it as well.
Well, Gyarados is probably a much more runnable poke than many of the other things. I didn't see what the Moltres had, but the Gyarados could be something really good. Although it looks like it had a Rock-type move, or a Pokemon had a Rock-type move. Was that the Moltres?
It may have been the Pidgey, because I think...
Oh, it's cdinprov she has it, right. But Gyarados, it's a physical attacker, so Shadow Ball is always good to see on it.
Yeah, that's really going to help the coverage here, just being able to have something that guarantees to hit Ghost and is effective against Psychic. It's going to help. We are seeing a lot of Gravelers today, and unfortunately they are not on the card. A lot of Pokemon on the card today. I think 8 of the goals are all are Pokemon goals. So the more information these runners can gather, the better.
I do think it's really interesting to see Flash in the card. In the previous races, I think, or at least I know I've watched cdinprov go climb the top of the tower. So I feel like this is a little bit more incentive for them to do so. Before going to the gym, that is.
Yeah, it definitely adds a little bit of safety, especially with that first level 9 Pokemon. If it's something tough, you just want to make sure you can get through it as quickly as you can without wasting time.
I didn't realize that the Gyarados also had jump kick, so in this generation, I believe Ghost Fighting is perfect coverage, similar to Water Normal. So it's a little bit of while it's a little bit of downtime, we can kind of preview because there's a lot of the guaranteed goals. There's a lot of progress ones in the later on in terms of Level 4 and Black Belt. They seem to be positioned pretty well.
Yeah, I'm also looking at just column 2 has 4 Pokemon, 4 goals that should be really easy. So if you can find that Ford or Kadabra, that should be an easy goal. Again, Pokemon sharing 4 moves of its type, that Pidgey is going to be really helpful with that, getting that one insured.
Column 5 seems relatively doable if they can find a Mantine Skarmory. Of course, that's one of the harder ones to find because those are ones that are not evolved in any sense.
And cdinprov still catching Pokemon, so she might be still looking for a different main. She might not like the Gyarados that she has caught also.
Yeah, I guess, I know I was talking to her before the race and she wanted to run something a little bit better than she did last time, so although I'm not sure if she recognizes that Gyarados is actually very, very runnable. It's important, and one of the things that's really important to learn when you're playing Crystal is which stat the Pokemon is best attacking with. Gyarados, for example, despite being water flying type, it's much more physically oriented. Oh, the TM23 was Rock Throw. That's how we got the rock move.
That is very smart. I didn't even think about that, but putting it on the Gyarados also like that, just even though he has perfect coverage, takes now easier to hit flying types, bug types, all those different, just ensuring that this Gyarados, again, as we've been saying, is just going to be really easy to run.
Well, it should be a lot easier for the Gyarados because the Gyarados doesn't learn moves until about level 20. So that's one of the downsides with running Gyarados, is that its lack of learning moves early on. So using that, although Rock Throw is not the best move, it is good enough to help get through some of the problems of having to rely on only 2 attack moves.
We do see Tix just making a really good speed through this Sprout Tower here.
Although Tix ran away from that Crobat, I'm not sure about that. That's a poison type that could have helped with the Diagonal and row 5.
And it's a very fast Pokemon. Depending on the moveset, if CD's still looking for a main to run, it could have been an option.
It could be an option. I personally have not had good experiences running the Crobat, but I know there's a lot of people who love running Crobat. It's a lot of speed with some attack, so it can be perfectly doable. Oh, but I guess, yeah, the Pidgey just had ancient power. Although Tix was fighting an optional there, I didn't realize that. I looked away and I didn't realize that he was fighting that one trainer. You have to, if you walk too close there, he will catch you with his pretty long vision range.
CD also catching a Snorlax, so another Pokemon that will get a good moveset and could be another easy one to get the four moves sharing its type. Out of all the Pokemon we've seen, well, let's exclude the Gyarados here. Out of all the Pokemon that CD has caught, which one would you want to run in this race?
I'd have to take a look at the movesets. It's a lot of the times it's really dependent on movesets because you can. The nice thing about Bingos is that you can, even with some of the worst Pokemon, as long as it has an okay moveset, you can make it runnable. Although, if I had to take a blind guess, the Snorlax would probably be the best of them. Either Snorlax or because Snorlax, while it's slow, he packs a punch. It packs a punch, and so the Snorlax is one of the few Pokemon that's slow that's actually okay to run.
Yeah, he has that large HP pool to help make up for the lack of speed, where you get the safety net. It's just going to take a lot to actually KO you.
Although with that moveset, I wouldn't quite go for it. That Electrode had Psybeam, I think, which is workable with its decent special defense, special attack. Although we missed it. Although cdinprov in Dark Cave picked up an Elixir, which is very good.
Yeah, that really helps the diagonal. That's one of the harder ones it would have been to get on that diagonal. So it really opens up a lot more ways to finish out this card very early on, so that's really good.
Looks like CD is running the Snorlax, which is totally respectable. Looks like Tix had to switch off to the Arbok briefly. I don't know if it was that the Gyarados was KO'd or it was just switched out.
I didn't quite see. Was just checking what cdinprov was trying to dex, and it may have been she was looking for a steel type Pokemon, so I didn't know if we had maybe missed something, but that would have also been really good information to have. Unfortunately, it came up late for her.
Oh, when you're using the searching function, it only searches the ones you have as owned, actually. Although, that's okay. But Tix makes it through, no problem, through the Sprout Tower. Although, he does take that walk of shame. As some of us like to kind of gently call it. Because a lot of times it's if you can get the money, it's worth buying an escape rope, just to escape rope down.
Yeah, and something we haven't mentioned with Zero on hand or Mom, we should see both runners just being very liberal with their money here and just taking up as much as they want, because it just makes getting that goal at the end of the run a lot easier if you don't have to really try and spend all your money in one place.
Well, the funny thing about that goal is it's really actually all about that last digit, because if it ends in a 0 or a 5, it's really easy. Just like a 0 or a 5, it's really easy just to buy and sell mail or berries to get to the numbers you need to completely go out. It gets a little bit more complicated with some of the other final digits because they will require wipes. Well, intentional wipes, that is.
Tixij having no problem with a level 9 Pokemon, so moving on through this race, does find a Bayleaf, but unfortunately it's the wrong set of starters that we need.
You know, I always feel like that happens so much, where it's like, oh, there's information on a goal that's not on the card.
And Tixij is going to be the first to fight Faulkner, so getting an early progress lead here.
I mean, I think Tix made a really smart decision to stick with the Gyarados. Although, I'm a little bit surprised he's relying so much on Rock Throw rather than Jump Kick, Shadow Ball. But in the early game times, the move power by AK or even the super effective stuff is enough to be better than just the base attacks.
And we will get to see the TM here, just to see if that also helps the moveset out a little bit. It is Flamethrower.
Well, it is a good move. It's not as good on Gyarados, but it is still something I'd consider teaching. It would help get rid of those pesky steel types. A lot of the times, the steel and rock types tend to have low special defense, so targeting their special defense with a super effective move is usually a good way to get through them quickly.
Definitely a good point there. And it may end up being a little bit more useful for CD as well. Just because we've already talked about how great the Gyarados moveset is. With everything that CD has, she could really benefit from having a powerful move like that early.
I think on CD's side, I'd actually more prefer Headbutt, since she already has Fire Punch there. Snorlax is more of a physical attacker, so...
Yeah, I didn't even see Fire Punch. That's a great point.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Flamethrower is still very much an improvement on Fire Punch. Although, I guess it looks like that Snorlax has not been working out so much, so she's back to the Arbok.
We could see her fishing after Faulkner's gym just to see if she finds a good level 10. She can always fish in the overworld as well as Union Cave just to get those two different kind of fishing spots.
So it's interesting. So Tix is still trying to grab a lot of those items. I would be tempted because you know that she has that cdinprov has not gotten Flash yet. I'd be tempted to check Dark to be able to metagame. It's probably Dark Cave or Ruins of Elf. But regardless, it's not a bad play.
Yeah, I mean, I think, especially with her not having it, Tix probably has to weigh did she skip Sprout Tower to come back to it later, or... Because if that's the case, he might think that she's in front of him, in which case he may think it's on this route a lot. That's why he's scouring all these items.
I mean, regardless, if you pick it up on the ground now... Well, it looks like elderly, although I guess technically it's more sagely, but elderly, we like to say because it's a pun, it seems to be giving cdinprov quite a hard time.
Does get a paralyze, which might help finally break through this. There we go. Tix finding TM04, TM20, I didn't see which one, but he does find it in the Union Cave.
That's a really good one to find, because that means that now row 4 is guaranteed, and that's always good to see early on.
Yep, both runners getting great amount of information in the early game, which means once we get past Chuck, once we get Fly, and both runners get past the shiny, which really marks when the paths start to diverge and runners start seeking their information, they're gonna have a lot easier time of figuring out the path to 5 bingos. Important to note, now that CD has marked Flash, and like you said, she's also doing the walk back. She didn't grab an escaper either, but Tix is now gonna know that he's ahead of her in progress.
You know, call me a doubter, but this rock throw has generally been pretty useful when it does hit.
Yeah, getting hit with an unlucky thunder.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. But luckily, he has plenty of super potions and paralyze heal.
He's just letting the Arbok get baited, just let he can do as much damage as he can, and then finish it off with the Gyarados without having to risk another Thunder.
I mean, in the early game, that experience from the trainers is really valuable. It pains me every time that kind of thing happens, when my main just loses out on at least 1 or 2 of those pokes experience.
Yeah, great point. So really well played by Tix to make sure that it does end up on his main.
It looks like cdinprov gets through the Magmar with relative ease, just freezing it, which is really funny, but freezing the Magmar, no sweat.
And should have no problem with this. Bayleaf again has both Fire Punch and Icy Wind to get that double option of what she wants to use to take it out.
Oh, I can't help but realize it was a 10% freeze chance from Powder Snow, since Aurora Beam does not freeze.
She's a bit walled from Mr. Arcanine, which is unfortunate.
Sky Attack will deal with it. You know, assuming it hits. That's the biggest problem with Sky Attack. and the fact that it's a 2-turn move.
She's on to Falconer as well, so finishing out the first gym here pretty soon.
Oh no, that Ninetales has Jump Kick. Oh gosh. That's not going well for her at all. Meanwhile, Tix has now handily disposed of all the rockets in the well.
Yeah, CD choosing to reset, which not a bad idea. She does have a couple other Pokemon she could lead with. To your point, she will lose experience on her main if she decides to go that route, but it might help her get past that Ninetales.
I mean, I think at this point, I think she's fine. She just needs to get a hit with the Sky Attack. I would, though, seriously consider switching mains. Try to switch mains anyways to something on the fishing rod.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
There was a question in chat from Blast Egg asking if Ghost is physical or special. In this generation, Ghost is physical. In Gen 2, all the moves are physical or special based off the typing. Unlike in the later gens where it's decoupled from its typing. One of the easier ways to remember which types are special is it's all the types of evolutions plus dragon. So that's grass, water, fire, electric, dark, psychic, dragon.
And Tixij finishing off the second rival fight. Did he do that before the gym, or did I just miss the gym fight?
It's possible to fight the rival before. I think he just fought the rival before.
That's what I thought as well. I just wanted to confirm.
And so Tix is doing a box heal. It's, I think, actually probably a slight bit faster when you have one or two Pokemon just to heal with the PC. There is a weird, or not, sorry, the question about whether it's faster with healing PC or not really depends on how many Pokemon you have in your party. But it's such a minimal time change, and while he was healing Pokemon with the box healing technique, he was able to also deposit the egg.
We did see Tixij going for left twin. Are you a left twin or a right twin person?
I am a left twin person. I do left twin left side. It is just the fastest movement wise. Left side has the least amount of Pokemon. It's only one Pokemon on this trainer versus the two on the right side trainer. And left side is just kind of less steps. There are some people who like to do right twin. There are some people who even like to do right side. Right side is not a bad option if you're looking for a little bit more experience or more information on goals. But I will just take the chance and just go left side.
And just in case we have any new viewers, I do want to elaborate. The reason why I asked this question is the Pokemon you encounter in that fight differs depending on which trainer you choose. So if you go to the left side, you're going to get a different Pokemon as opposed to the right trainer. So very small decision to make, but it could end up meaning different information that you gather.
Yeah, so just to kind of clarify is that the way double battles are programmed in Crystal is that the trainers are coded as two separate trainers themselves. Normally in the game, it's to simulate double battles. They have the same Pokemon, whichever one they throw out first is the one that specific person has. However, with the randomizer, since they're two separate sets of trainers, they get randomized into completely different Pokemon. And it's huge. So cdinprov in the chamber found a berry juice, while Tix on level up just learned Drill Peck, which is the best flying move. So if Tix decides to check the hidden chamber, or the hidden chamber of Ruins of Valth for items, he will be greatly rewarded.
Yeah, and it does make it a little bit easier to make sure you get that goal, just because chamber being on a corner does mean it's worth a little bit more, right? Because you get 3 possible bingos off of it as opposed to 2 in most other spaces.
So what's interesting is that they have, so because they did Flash, they're able to open up the Flash chamber, and instead of having to go all the way around in Union and down through Union Cave to open up the Waterstone chamber. So it's a really good incentive just to have those really 2 quick goals, because all it requires is Surf and Flash to get the Flash chamber. I agree with Tix, though, with grabbing the headbutt TM. That's a solid move. Although Drill Peck, the flying and normal types have similar coverage, with flying having more super effectives, but being walled on electric types. And generally, it's still okay to have headbutt for the head flinch chance.
Agreed. I did want to ask, with the only item goals on this card being Mystery Berry, the Berry Juice Elixir, and then Poison Barb, which our both already have, would you do what Tix is doing and still continue to pick up every single item, or would you want to up the speed and skip a couple?
I would generally, in this case, probably skip the items. It's so hard for me because I do full item randos, so I know where every item location is. But picking up those items really kind of takes you so far out of the way and takes a lot of time. I've been trying to learn how to cut back on getting items. So I would hold off on it, especially since you're in the progress lead, and you can't necessarily totally imply that the Berry Juice Elixir was early on, because it could have been on a Pokemon that cdinprov caught. I think it's a safe bet to try to figure out, hey, this is it. It might be an item that I've missed on that early part. I didn't go to Dark Cave. Maybe it's there.
And I do see another question in chat, Miss Musty. Are only some TMs randomized? The answer to that is anything that you pick up off the ground will be randomized, but if a NPC hands it to you, then it is not randomized.
Correct.
With the caveat that what the TM teaches can be randomized if it's a gym leader giving it to you, but things like Sweet Scent, Rock Smash are not randomized as well. Okay,
so all the moves on TMs are randomized, except for we make an exception for the field moves. So Sweet Scent, Rock Smash, and Headbutt are all capped. So that's TM2 for Headbutt, TM08 for Rock Smash, and TM12 for Sweet Scent.
Yeah, you do such a better job at explaining that than I do.
That's okay. I've been around for a little bit, and it's still a little bit of the stuff, but it is a good question.
And just a shameless plug, if you are interested in running this, please join the Discord. We would love to have you in the community.
Definitely. Everyone is more than willing to help out, and especially newcomers. Everyone's always been there, so it's always kind of helpful. It's always good to see people helping out others to get people interested in this.
And CD will... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna comment that CD will pick up the TM20, so that is another goal for her.
So I am a little bit different. What is your take on cdinprov not repelling? My general take is that I try to repel through, but knowing you're behind progress-wise, probably by a decent amount, would that change your calculations?
That's exactly my criteria. I know I'm behind already, and I don't think I can catch up. Then I'll just try to take the information advantage, and I'll still repel sometimes because I don't want to fall too far behind, but certain areas like here, actually, what CD did, I would not repel until I get back up to the main level of Union.
That's huge! cdinprov finds a Skarmory in basement of Union! Oh yeah. My goodness!
So her choosing not to repel, paying off in dividends here. That is a giant information lead.
So cdinprov used the level ball. So for those not aware, with this speed choice, level balls actually act as master balls.
And something else I want to throw out there is Tix is going to have a hard time metagaming where she found that, just because he knows she's behind, but he doesn't really know how far behind at this point.
I'd actually sort of countermand it, because you just saw Tix mark off TM20, actually, not just, or so you just saw cdinprov mark TM20 actually, just a minute ago. So it's actually a safe bet to assume it's either Union Cave, one of the two floors, or maybe even potentially Route 33.
Yeah, that's a great catch, and something that I didn't think of. You're right, if he did notice that she marked that goal, and then very shortly after marked the Skarmory and Steel type, he knows A, what she found, and B, where she found it.
Well, Meadowcoat doesn't quite work that way with the speed choice, because we have changed the evolutions for example, Onyx and Scyther, which are normally trade evolutions. We have changed those to be evolutions at level 30 to make it obtainable. Although it looks like Tix has already made very good progress and just defeated Whitney, so this Gyarados has been doing a lot of work for him.
Yeah, absolutely doing great with that, and now just needs to pick up the watering can and can go on up to that Sudowoodo.
Oops. So we saw Tix there, repelling and about to go through Route 35, and then turning around right away, realizing, oh, actually, I have not fought Bugcatcher Arnie, who's that trainer right there. I better just go around the other way.
Yeah, not a huge mistake, but will cost just that extra couple seconds of repelling and movement, and might end up costing another repel.
I think it's fine. Although he went a little bit closer on Route 36 there, but he'd already fought that optional trainer, so he was not caught by the schoolboy.
Just go ahead and picks up Rock Smash. And he's going back to Dark. No, okay. I was wondering if he was going to go all the way back to Dark Cave, knowing that that's where probably CD had marked Berry Juice Elixir.
No, I guess Tix didn't want to take that cutscene in Ekritique for going to that center. The center in Ekritique. Although, to be honest, with Bingos, I'm more willing to take it, because watching that cutscene lets you go back to Bill at his place to pick up an additional Pokemon for free.
Yeah, and again, with 8 of these goals being Pokemon cards, that's ups your odd of it being something that might be useful for you. A lot of Parasects in this.
Ooh, that's good information. Charmeleon right off the bat, or second trainer in Kimono Girl is very good. So that's center goal information. So assuming it's obtainable, that should make it much easier to complete the card.
Yeah, and it's information that's guaranteed for both runners, so that's going to be really help the overall speed of this race. Tixij has to be really happy with this Gyarados. He's just flying through all these fights. Also finding an Ammonite on these chrono goals, so that is top left goal information as well.
Wait, Ammonite or Amstar?
Oh, that is Amistar. That was not thinking. Question in chat, who picks the runners color for the bingo? The runners get to choose which color they want.
I actually have realized, I personally have realized when I'm doing these tournaments, I have a color that I'll choose, but then if a runner chooses a color that's pretty similar to what I have, I will actually switch what color I run. But a lot of the times runners have colors that they tend to choose on their own, and so they'll go for that.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, because if you play multiple different bingos with different people, like always knowing which color is yours just makes it one less thing you have to think about.
Unfortunately, it looks like Tix accidentally reset his timer, and cdinprov doesn't have a timer on, so unfortunately, it seems like we won't have a timer on stream.
We should be able to give
okay, sorry, belay that. Sorry.
Oh, perfect.
Looks like cdinprov did have it, just wasn't cropped in, so perfect. We'll have that time back in sync.
So, just to kind of sum up where we're at with this race right now, Tix has a huge progress advantage, and right now, CD does have the information advantage, with the caveat that this is something that Tix might be able to metagame and figure out, so little early to have it immediately. We'll have to see after shop how many of the dots Tix can connect here.
Speaking of which, did anyone recognize those dogs? I am not as good about picking up those cries, but I do have some insider information about what they are.
I am the worst at guessing cries.
So I know we like to have that game, although I'll give the people a couple seconds to get that in before I do the reveal of what they were. Sometimes finding the legendary Pokemon is helpful.
Yeah, if you manage to find it early enough, that's a level 40 you can just immediately switch to. It's got a good moveset and just makes the rest of the required fights pretty quick.
And sometimes it can even be a golden card. But anyway, so sometimes it's hard to tell the snakes' cries apart, not gonna lie. And a lot of the babies do sound the same to me. Sorry, I must have cut out. So the roamers were Cleffa, Ekans, and then Gyarados, being the Suicune.
Yeah, I mean, probably means it's gonna be a little bit less valuable to go after any of them. The only one is if you just luck into finding the Ekans. That is one of the 7 poison types that you need.
If they didn't start with Arbok, it might even be okay to do that, but you know, I'm not sure I agree with Tix teaching over Jump Kick for Surf.
I agree, but I do know since he has there is Mewtwo information. To finish my earlier thought, knowing how much he has been using Rock Slide, I can understand, or Rock Throw, I can understand, but I still think I would have, in his shoes, chosen Rock Throw to teach over.
Well, Rock Throw is a golden card, and that's the one downside for teaching Rock Move to your main. You have to keep it.
That's a good point.
I actually probably would have held off because the ghost fighting coverage was really good with the drill peck being the best. But by no means was it a bad choice. Although it's very unfortunate that Tix is burned, which halves your attack, which is really devastating for a physical attacker like Gyarados.
CD's still having a little bit of trouble. Had to reset and redo this fight.
In this case, I actually might have, if I had bought
Yeah, that burn definitely slowing things down. This is one of the good things where he did teach Surf, because as you mentioned earlier, Surf being special attack means he can get around that stat decrease.
I actually didn't think about that, but that's also a good idea to keep it. So there really isn't any wrong choice there. It also helps KO a Swag Cargo. I salute you. So while we've been focused on Tix, cdinprov has managed to make it through the well and is fighting Bugsy now.
Yeah, unfortunately this means she's just about 2 gyms behind. Not an insurmountable pace to be behind on, but it does definitely tighten her the margin for error here.
Oh no! And she got frozen and leech seeded by that Corsola. Oof! And I don't think she has any revives either.
Yeah, she is just not getting lucky here.
I might actually consider resetting if I save before Bugsy. And Tix fights the female Pokefan. I personally prefer fighting the male one because you could just go back to the farm or whatever without Fly. There's really no. It's really up to runner's preference. It actually makes very little difference since you'll have Fly most of the time.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially if Snore is one of the goals on the card, then it definitely makes a lot more sense to fight the guy. With it not, I don't know if Tix or CD will have to go back up through this route, so at this point, I don't know if it makes that large of a difference.
And so Tix is climbing the lighthouse. I'm not quite sure why though.
Could, again, just be getting more information. He does know he's ahead, right? So giving up some of that time to just try to ensure you have the information advantage as well might be the reasoning here, which is not a terrible play. I can see the reasoning and I kind of like it.
I mean, it's a lot of fights, and he's doing optional fights. Just want to make sure we're on the. I mean, I don't see defeating lighthouse trainers on here, so I'm a little bit. I still question it because a lot of times we want to avoid fighting as many trainers as we can.
Yeah, if it's the case that it's a full confusion, the only one I can think of is maybe he's mixing up Call of Black Belt with Call of Sailor.
I think that might have been it because he turns around, and I don't think he got the phone number, so. I don't mean to be too critical, but sometimes I don't know what's going on.
I don't think it was critical at all. It's part of what we're doing. We have to be on top of what people are doing, what kind of progress they're making. So. And again, Tix has been doing an amazing job, right? Just flying through this part of the game. Getting that Gyarados, committing to it early has really paid off. Make sure he doesn't forget strength, because that is probably the most painful thing to forget, because that means you have to swim all the way back to Olivine. And CD finishes Bugsy, so she will be moving on to Alex Forrest's here.
Yep. So, slowly but surely making progress. Tix is going ahead. I'm wondering, I hope to see what that Chucky is. Maybe it'll be something on the card. Or maybe something that can evolve easy. That's one of the things that's nice about Pokemon that are given by an NPC. Most of or at least the ones that are owned by a different NPC, is that they gain experience at twice the rate. Oh, that's a Tyro, and it's level 15, which means it's only 5 levels away from evolving.
Yeah, and with Glacial Badge being on the card, that's an easy gem that Tix can put EXP share on and level it up a couple times.
That's one of the nice things, though, is that so the 2 Pokemon that you can get free are Kenya and Chucky here, and both of those don't go under your trainer ID. Unfortunately, Bill's Poke does come under your own trainer ID, despite it be given by another person. But those are the ones. It's always nice to have those, and you don't have to worry about the obedience levels since you'll have plenty. Your badges should cover that.
And Tixij fighting his, I believe, third Ninetales on a trainer this run, so a lot of Ninetales, a lot of Parasects showing up on different trainers.
That's rather unfortunate. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you would hope to just get more information rather than seeing the same Pokemon over and over.
Well, it's more unfortunate that it's not the Stone Evolution Pokemon on the card, so... Because most of the Stone Evolutions are on the same... share the same bingo square. Today's Stone Evolution is Clefable Wigglytuff. So it's unfortunate that it's not the... Arcanine Ninetales goal. Although it seems like this is a gym for babies, because we've had several trainers now have just Igglybuffs.
Yeah. And happy 1 hour, everyone.
Happy 1 hour. It's always good to see someone finishing around or in Chuck's gym around the hour mark. That's before we had early bike, that was generally the benchmark of a really good run, and Tix has been doing an amazing job.
Yeah, and to be honest, hour probably expected here because both with HM05 being on the card, like both runners investing that early time makes it very, very difficult to get that goal and get under an hour. So about what I would expect for a good run here.
Especially since these are newer runners. I think these are both newer runners, so that's always a good one. A good time to see. Although, you know, now that Tix is about to enter the cleanup phase, I don't know if we have all that much information on the pokes on the card.
Unfortunately not. I don't think we've seen Furrowed or Kadabra. We have seen a Mewtwo. I messed up and said Star when it's Ammonite, so we don't have the top left corner either. Clefable Wigglytuff, I don't think we have information. Osan Yanma. It's a lot of these Pokemon that they just are gonna have to hope they luck into.
Yeah. Although Tix getting the 102 fly time, very good. I guess some of this is where I stopped using repels. Like, I'll use repels up until about Cyanwood. And once I get to Cyanwood, I just, I figure, you know what? It's okay. A lot of the times I end up just finding things on the ground on the way to, for example, Lake of Rage. So now's a good time as any to get random pokes on the card.
Yeah, I agree with that logic. If I'm running this, I'm not using any more repels for the rest of the card or the run.
So one of the unfortunate parts is because Tix is paralyzed and did not heal it, you still have a hard time running away from pokes. But that's solved very quickly.
Yeah, he goes ahead and takes that Paralyzed Cure Berry.
That's a funny spot for a Slowpoke tail. Right before you could buy one.
Yeah, this card giving us those, it's the twice now, right? Because it gave us Poison Bar before we would have just walked to it, and now, even though Slowpoke tail's not on the card, just picking it up right before you got to it, so very convenient here.
That's true. Also, so it's brought up in chat that we have Igglybuff information. However, as much as it's a pre-evolution, you have to take into account that Igglybuff is a friendship evolution, which means you have to have 255 happiness, or like 200 happiness, which is very hard to get. When you catch a Pokemon in a Pokeball, any normal Pokeball or anything, you get a start of 70 happiness, and the best way to get happiness is to level up. You can sort of shortcut that if you catch something in a friend ball. but unfortunately neither of our runners have that.
And we are about to finally see what the shiny is this game. Choosing not to save beforehand, I always like to save just in case it's something on the card.
I did not see what that shiny was.
It was a Dragonite.
Gone. Gone in an instance. Although, so cdinprov has caught a lot of poison types, and especially that Weedle's very good for that kind of thing.
Yeah, and Weedle's great because again, with stop same Pokemon evolving 4 times, Weedle has a really early evolve level, which means it should be super quick to get it to the 4 times. Now, I wanted to ask, with us having so little information, while Tix is choosing to go back to Goldenrod, would you consider going into the Rocket Base, picking up, just viewing what those trap Pokemons are and the electrodes to see if that's any good information?
I would, but I'd probably go towards my other goals first and see what I find.
It does get the Mystery Berry, so that is another Column 5 and Row 2 goal, so one of the guaranteed ones. He will still need to find this, and he gets the information, so needs to find the Skarmory and now can dex it.
That's very huge, because he knows that cdinprov got the Skarmory. And in fact, that should be able to point him directly to where it was. Although I'm a little bit confused about picking up the TM. Although, in the meantime, it did work out.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he chooses to dex this Skarmory right away. No, he's picking up the build. Oh no, coin case?
I think that, that's another 3 options for that stuff. I'm a little bit confused because it seems like Tix seems to be doing extra goals that aren't on the card today. So, it is a little bit puzzling to commit to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it does give you quick information on 3 Pokemon, and it is only just this one fight you have to get through, which, with him being level 30, should be a pretty quick fight. Alright, he's already done, so... Again, like, it is a time investment, it's not a major time investment.
Yeah, no, he seems to be doing a lot of extra goals, so... is Pokemaniacs on the card? Oh, you know what? He's going for Rival 4, right. Actually, for Rival 4, I generally go through the top. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's kind of equivalent. But that's not a problem. Although I do wish he would pick up the experience share before for that Tyrogue.
Yeah,
to get the top evolving 4.
I agree with
potentially set up.
Okay.
Although it may not be on his path, though. Since he does not have for Kadabra information.
Nor does he have Aerodactyl, Kabuto, Omnite, or Clefable Wigglytuff, so yeah, that is kind of a hard goal to try and invest in right now, so I agree with that. And again, if something changes, he does still have Price's gym.
That's very true. Who knows, Price might get... Rival 4 might give him the necessary information. Meanwhile, I believe cdinprov is heading back towards Whitney's gym after having talked to the girl. I believe her name is... I don't remember if it's Floria is the one that gives you the squirt bottle, or if that's the one you talked to initially.
Oh, I can't remember. I got excited for Tix for a second, but that was 2 spoons, not 1, so still not information.
Although, luckily, he's dealing with that Zapdos, which could have been much more dangerous had it had any electric move. Information's still pretty tight this ROM, but considering how you have, I mean, I'd start personally going on the hunt for more berry juice elixir items.
Yeah, and I don't think either runner, and I might be wrong, but I don't think either runner quite has 5 possible bingos yet. Does see a quillfish in the cannot think of the word, game center, so probably we'll pick that up just because it is an easy poison type.
Do you remember which one of those was? Was it the 100, the 800, the 1500?
It was the top one, so I believe the 100.
Okay, yeah, so that's relatively free and easy. No wonder why he's able to quickly get it. Did he check? Oh no, he hasn't triggered Bill's cutscene, so he can't get Bill's Pokemon.
Still choosing to repel. Again, with needing to find a couple more Pokemon, I think I would probably just go ahead and take the couple C encounters here. But it's gonna go to Tojo to get that goal.
Yep, I mean, that's fine. I mean, sometimes it's just you want to just go through your stuff. I'm more in favor of just letting encounters come as they go, because you never know, for example, when you'll find a nice thing in Ice Path, for example.
And CD finishing off Whitney, so she's continuing on with her progress.
Meanwhile, Tix is now going to battle in Price's gym, and so starting first with Skier Roxanne. You'll notice that our runners actually will fight Roxanne rather than trying to chance it with the spinner with Douglas. And that's because of how the changes are. Because we purge spinners, they're now all rotators, and rotators always starting facing down. So if you were to try to do what you would see, for example, in any percent, or the glitchless, for example, for Crystal, you notice that they chance Douglas. But because of the changes, it's not a chance that you'll hit Douglas, you'll always hit Douglas. Since it's much faster to just fight Roxanne, who has 1 Pokemon, rather than the 3 that Douglas has. And price is no issue, so Tix is making very good progress on getting those 5 bingos. Hopefully, he'll find a Pilot's One Yanma to make his path a little bit easier.
Yeah, finding that would be a huge boon, but I think he's probably gonna go Whirl Islands here soon just to get that first bingo with catch the Pokemon in Lugia's room.
Yeah, that's pretty simple. And I don't think Tix has dexed the Charmeleon information yet.
No, he has not dexed anything, so he does have both the Charmeleon and the Skarmory waiting to be dexed.
Oh no, and getting caught by the Pokemaniac in the corner, oof.
Cdin, starting on the Kimono Ghost, so she will get the Charmeleon promotion here in just a second.
You know, it's interesting that the Parasect has a rock type move. I don't think Tix has ever let it live long enough to show him that.
Yeah, and that, I mean, both Cdin already has the Pidgey with ancient power, so it would have been good to know earlier, sorry, because then it could have freed up the Gyarados to not teach over high jump kick.
Oh, it was regular jump kick, but that was but that's, I mean, they're very similar. In fact, they're still very good, both good fighting moves. And Tix being very careful and gets off the bike to make sure not to mess up the boulder puzzle. I can respect that.
Yeah, this is one of the most impressive things to watch runners do, because they make it look so easy, and I can't do it either, so I would have to get off the bike as well, but if you continue watching these tournaments, just marvel at how many of these people have that movement nailed down.
I tried to do the swag boulders. I bonk a little bit too much to be able to do it, but that's just how I go. But if you watch someone like Storms, it is really a treat, because they just make it look, as you said, way easy.
And we have reached Blackthorn. Going for that Call of Black Belt gold to get that one cleared out. Open up possibly the diagonal. No, still that row too. No, well, because he doesn't have Pillows on the Yanma information yet either.
Although, hello, Magikarp. That is a possible. No, don't run from. No, that's a possible way to get Elixir. A very unlikely way, but a very possible way to get Elixir.
Yeah. Again, he might be thinking in the back of his mind that since Cdin has it marked, he might have an idea of where it is, and just rather than have to catch it and then go fly up to Lake of Rage to get it evaluated, just go pick it up.
Regardless, I guess. So there's actually a little bit better path of getting to the black belt. If you hang on the left side, and then once you get, there'll be a last on that is spinning. You just go down and around her on the bottom. That's the fastest way to get to the black belt, rather than hugging the right side like this.
Cdin just getting walled by this Rapidash as well.
CD is very much a newer runner, so with the newer runners, it takes a little bit of time to be able to help to understand what's kind of better, and rather than just any kind of attacking moves, you need the appropriate coverage, the appropriate moves.
Yeah, this run in particular definitely requires a different way of thinking than traditional speedrun or just even casual playthroughs do, so it can be a little bit of a learning curve, but both CD and Tix, like we said, are newer runners and both putting on a great show here. Tix in Violet City means that he might be heading towards Ruins of Valve, which means he should find that berry juice pretty quickly.
If he picks up the items. A lot of times with the runners they don't. But considering he's been picking up all these items, I would think he picks up the berry juice elixir and makes it so much easier for himself. Well, Miss Musty, it's being brought up, you know, the first, oh, you don't have to look at the, yeah, so it says escape there, but, it's not the first bingo that matters, it's having 5 of them that matters. Sorry.
And does check the items, does have to drop something to pick it up, that's not going to matter. So he will get that goal.
And Tix is verifying, yeah, yes, that is the flash room. You don't have to actually read the signs to be able to do to unlock the hidden rooms, but it is a good confirmation. You also actually don't have to enter the rooms either, but I mean, I guess he's still picking up items. I'm a little bit confused by that, because once he had the berry juice elixir, and since he has the mystery berry, I don't see a reason to keep grabbing the items.
Yeah. But I mean, I got nothing.
Tix does call the black belt and promptly deletes the number. That's always a good thing to do. The longer you let those one numbers linger, the higher chance they have of calling you, which unfortunately does not do anything for the goal. You have to call them.
I'm gonna see where Tix goes next.
Looks like Whirl Islands, which is a good play for the Lugia's room. And
Yeah,
just to clarify, oh sorry.
I was gonna say that will be the first bingo once he gets into Lugia's room.
Right. And just to clarify a little bit more on that calling goal, for the call to be registered, you actually have to not be in the same location as the person you're calling. It actually you have to actually reach the number has to actually be reached. And Tix teaches cut to giraffe, so that is 4 normal type moves, so that is indeed meeting the criteria for the goal. And now he starts the deck stuff, which is very good. And cdinprov gets through Rival 3 no problem and is unlocking the beast, so she's still making progress. Okay, so Sprout Tower and Union Cave and National Park. So National Park is definitely the best out of those 3 options. Now he'll see that, oh, look, it's the Skarmory that cdinprov caught. It's in Union Cave. So you can infer, because cdinprov got it, that it is most likely on the ground in the first 2 floors. And that Kadabra's spot is a little bit tough. It's Mount Mortar, so there's still a possibility it could be waterfall locked.
Yeah, and it might be easier for him to find the Skarmory. One of the new features in this ROM is if you are on the floor with a Pokemon and you search it, it will bing at you 3 times if you're on the correct floor. So if Tix knows about that, that will make him finding Skarmory a bit easier.
Yeah, so it won't differentiate between ground and water slots, but because it was obtained so early on by cdinprov, it's pretty reasonable to assume it was a ground slot.
Searches up the Ivysaur, which is also in Mount Mortar, but also on the route below Blackthorn.
Route 45.
That one.
Yeah, so Charizard there is on Route 35, Route 38, which is very good, and Route 30. Probably the best might be just assuming the Charmeleon is in the water of 30 and that just nobody saw it, considering they saw so many slots on Route 30. But if you can't be aware of that, it is just as fine to go on Route 38, where it's just the grass slots. Oh my gosh! That's a huge find!
Oh, that's gonna make finishing out this card a lot easier.
So I think with this, Tix's finish is gonna be row 2, column 3, row 4, and diagonal, and the bottom left to top right. Or it could be bottom left to top right, row 3, row 4, and column 3. Or it could even be row 2. There's so many options. Although, unfortunately, Tix is heading into the wrong island to get to Lugia's room. Lugia's room can only be accessed from the top right island.
Yeah, this is one of the ones where having a second monitor and just pulling up like a map of the world caves can really save you some time. Especially, I mean, we both runners do have flash, which makes it a big so you don't have to do it blind. But if you don't have flash, save yourself the trouble.
Yeah, so I mean, while I've been playing the game a lot, I think a lot of it comes from experience. It comes from experience to know to get the Lugia's room you have to use the top right one. It's actually one of the easiest dark rooms to do because it's really just going up, right, up, and then the next room is down, left, down, left, down. And as soon as you get into that other room, you turn right, you head into the water and you go down, and once you let the waterfall take you down, and once the waterfall stops moving you, you hang left and onto the ground and then move, I think, 3 tiles and then to the left, and then you can go up. Although, that's where the Kadabra information is. I didn't know where that was, so that's really good to see.
And I think Tix does realize that this is the wrong cave, so he doesn't actually enter, which is good.
I'm trying to channel my knowledge, and hopefully my knowledge will somehow direct Tix to the correct island, but it seems like it's not quite there.
And CD is about to fight Morty, so getting closer to being on her cleanup phase. Just has to get through this and then down through Chuck.
I would actually consider, this late in the game, consider skipping Fly, actually. Because all you need for the most part is Surf and just grabbing strings from Olivine. And most of the time you'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll have to see if she chooses to do that, but I really like that reasoning as well.
I think Tix is looking at a map right now. The screen... his stream is not frozen.
Again, I appreciate that. Save yourself the trouble, everyone. Pull up the map if you don't know how to do this.
Buried in our resources section is a little bit of a guide. It's a little bit outdated because there's some goals that were changed. But if you ever know, there's always people around willing to help you out. And we do have plenty of resources in the appropriate parts in the Discord that you can check out at any time.
Does quickly leave this cave as well, so not wasting too much time. Still gotta make his way up north now. And getting back to CD, I do hope that she has that same line of thought that you had of Skip and Fly, and I know since both of these runners are newer, I really hope she thinks about that, just because I know once you've done this a lot, you kind of build up a routine, so it's sometimes harder to think outside of the box like you did, Snow, but with her being a smart runner and being able to think about what she needs, she might be able to more easily see that line. Tix finally making it to the correct cave.
Okay, so please. So I think Tix is a little bit newer, so he'll use the flash. But this movement is actually one of the ones it's more comfortable for me to do in the dark than to use flash for. There you go. Just drop down on the right side and then head up, and you've got it.
Yeah, he's definitely looking at a map here, and I don't blame him. Right, ending up in the wrong place here is just so annoying. Also has to make sure he has a escape, and he does. That's good.
Well, it is possible to get out without an escape, without waterfall, and without an escape rope, but it is a little bit more complicated. So, an escape rope will for sure save some time.
CD is facing the guy on the route, so she will get a little bit different information. This could end up paying off depending on what he has.
They all have one Pokemon, so it doesn't seem like it makes that much of a difference. So that's Smoochum. It's a level 30 evolution, so it's a little bit harder to do a stop evolve 4 on that, but it is a possibility, even though it's a little bit remote.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't think he necessarily needs to go for that goal. And we have talked about, he has a lot of options on how to get these 5 bingos.
Yeah, since Kadabra was in a harder to get a spot, generally probably in Mortar, it's just easier just to go for the other goals they has. I do hope he goes for that Mountain Skarmory though.
I think that was a misclick. I think he meant escape route, or maybe he is looking for just additional Pokemon here.
I mean, You never know what's in Lugia. I mean, there was one Pokemon Roll Islands, but I do agree just an escape rope out here is the smarter play. So, if I was in Tix's shoes, I would definitely head on towards that Charmeleon.
And it does look like that's what's happening. He is heading up to National Park.
I don't agree. I'm not sure I agree with the Route 35, but if it comes, oh, that's a Squirtle, and it's one level from evolving. So, excuse me.
He will have to go out of his way to pick up that EXP share now.
I mean, you could always do switch training as well.
Fair.
Although you'll have to fight trainers though. Uh-oh, and he gets caught by the fire breather.
I mean, if you're gonna get caught by one, this is the one to get caught by, because it's 2 Pokemon as opposed to 4. Oh, but his Gyarados is asleep, that's annoying.
It's actually funny, because it's a little bit faster to have your main asleep or frozen when you're sweet sending, because then the Pokemon doesn't shout out its cry. Unfortunately, in battle, it's not as convenient. I believe Tix is heading towards the national park. I believe the Mewtwo was there, if I remember correctly.
That's what it was. I was confusing Charmeleon with Mewtwo in here. And this will get him Road 2 as well, since we'll be very closing in on those 5 bingos here.
So cdinprov has chosen to make it the progress all the way to Storm Badge, so she'll make her way to the gym and hopefully get Fly to help her clean up a little bit easier.
Tix finding the Mewtwo pretty quickly as well, so that's really fortunate.
Is that 2 level balls he has, or is it just... No, it's just 1 level ball. I mean, I suppose you can just save it for any Pokemon, really. Although, was that a Mewtwo with Earthquake? Did we just see?
Yes, it was.
Good thing we didn't find that earlier. I very much don't like running Mewtwo's. It is way too good of a Pokemon. It is a vehicle, not a buddy. Yeah, of course, I do say that when I did run one in the tournament.
Hey, it's a tournament. You gotta do what you gotta do to win, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah, he's not having a lot of luck catching with Pokeball here. I would switch over to a level ball. Although he may not realize that level balls in this act like Master Balls, so he may not be aware of that little trick.
I mean, it's more of a time save later on. I mean, he still has 1 Pokemon at least he wants to catch in the Skarmory.
That's true.
So I guess I didn't realize that cdinprov just kept Powder Snow, but didn't teach Surf to Snorlax. I figured, if anything, he would teach Surf over Powder Snow. Although unlucky freeze from the Ninetales. Oof.
Yeah, CD has been getting frozen left and right, and it's so unfortunate, right?
That's unfortunately one of the downsides of running a slow Pokemon like Snorlax. You will be hit by moves, and most of the time you will be statused. I mean, Snorlax has the bulk to take the hits, but that doesn't stop the status problem. There we go, and finally, Mewtwo finally gets into the Pokeball.
He is gonna go ahead and get his Squirtle out of the box. It looks like Tix, and with him flying to Violet, I think he is going the route of picking up the EXP share.
I mean, that's the ideal way. Why chance looking for a 10% slot, right? When you have a Pokemon who showed itself right to you, and it's only one level. It's one level at level 16, no problem. Heck, he could even fight one of the Pokemaniacs, or even one of the hikers. the one of the hikers at the bottom, if you really wanted to, for the enough experience.
Yeah.
Or I guess someone on Route 45. I think that was. I know one of the Pokemon was there, but that still wouldn't be my priority. Ah, there we go. Now he switches back, and he was like, "Wait a second, it was Union Cave."
It does look like he ended up in Slowpoke Well.
Just misreading the Pokedex. It sometimes can be a little bit hard to kind of figure out things. I do hope he realizes the Dex area beep check, because that'll save him so much time trying to find the level, what floor it is on. If he hadn't Oh no, he's not checking the right floor.
Oh, that's gonna be a little bit of a time out here, unfortunately.
Oof, and Garth points out that Mewtwo got out of 17 Pokeballs and only got in the ball once he got into the lure ball.
Is he going down? He's getting closer to going downstairs.
Oh, I would hope that he Dex area beeps.
Yeah, and this Blissey could have been used for experience on the Squirtle.
I mean, it could have been. It's the experience in the wild is actually not as much as a trainer one.
True, but I mean, even in the wild, like a Blissey is still gonna give a decent chunk. And with it being low level, what level was his Squirtle again?
His Squirtle was 15, so that's still at least a good chunk of it.
Yeah,
so that's still good. Although he's in the right floor now. I hope he stays there for it. So this is why we have more recent technologies having the Dex area beep, because it does, as you did mention earlier, it tells you which floor it's on.
And we're gonna see how lucky CD was here, because first two Pokemon were not it. She may have gotten it as one of the more rare encounters.
No sweat.
There we go. And CD's still having issues with Chuck here, unfortunately.
I mean, when you lead a Moltres, it's kind of it is one of the more difficult ones to fight. Alright, so here's the deal. So Tix just needs to evolve that Squirtle and lose all his money. Hasn't attached that experience yet to the Squirtle though, so I'm wondering when he'll do that.
Hopefully he doesn't forget to. There we go, okay, he does remember.
I actually would have chosen a much easier trainer than that one. While it ensures he's definitely going to evolve that Squirtle, I don't think you need to fight that high of a level trainer.
Yeah, and it's 3 Pokemon all at high level as well. It's definitely a bit riskier, with that payoff being absolutely evolving this Squirtle.
I would have just gone and fought a couple of the Pokemaniacs around in Union, but you know, no worries. You also do have to figure. He also does have to. One of the problems, although, with fighting these trainers is that it might throw off your money count, and you do want to zero out your money.
Yeah, that's gonna be the last thing he needs to do here. So we'll probably see him go to a store, pick up as much as he can. He does get through this trainer fairly quickly.
Alright, so that is now 4 bingos. And that was just 2 of them right away, so wow. Meanwhile, cdinprov is still getting through the Kabutops. A little bit. It's gonna be a hard time to try to. Oh, never mind. Kabutops is faster, so Sky Attack is still okay to use. As long as it doesn't dig midway in.
Yeah.
And he's through, and cdinprov is now beat Chuck, which is really good. You know, she's made some really good progress over these last couple matches. So for a new player, kudos to her for being able to get to beat Chuck under the 2 hours mark. I know sometimes I had a really hard time doing that.
And Tix is going down to 1 Pokemon, so it looks like he plans to wipe.
Did we see what his money situation was before the wiping?
I didn't see it. I was looking at CD's screen, unfortunately. Chat is letting us know he has 30 money, or 30 Poke Yen.
That would have been, I would have actually collected 4 berries, and then bought a mail. That would have been the easiest way to finish it up.
Down to $7.
Yeah, so these wipes are going to take a little bit of time.
It does look like he is just using something with recoil to make sure he gets that finished off quick. Oh. He did that with the last encounter at least.
I find it's a little bit easier to do on trainers since they're not since wild Pokemon aren't going to use random moves. Trainers are more likely to use attack or moves that might kill you in one shot. So it's good to know. We'll bring it up. Unfortunately, fortunately, if you stick around, there is more coming up on this channel. But we will have. This is the last match of today. If you would like more Cinco Bingo content, we will have a couple of matches tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, we will get to see CD again tomorrow facing Lord Bakura, and that time will be at 2 o'clock Eastern.
Fifth, and so we'll have a lot more coming up for the rest of this week as well, so stay tuned. And that looks like it's the last wipe. We'll just make sure that 0 money, Yep, 0 money in hand, and GG. Tix has now finished.
Congratulations, Tix. And like Snow said, we are going to try and pull him in just for the easier. Hello, Tix. Congratulations.
GG.
Thanks very much. Bit of a better show than my last my last match.
Definitely. That Gyarados was really good.
Oh, I was doubting it up until I hit 20 and got Drill Peck, and then I knew I made the right choice.
I did see you teach Surf over Jump Kick, and I was a little bit skeptical. Can you talk me through a little bit of your thoughts about that?
Yeah, of course. So, basically, I was choosing between. Honestly, I probably should have deleted Shadow Ball, but I was choosing between Jump Kick and Rock Throw, and I had the Rock type move goal in my path, so I just went with Jump Kick. Jump Kick.
I mean, that's totally
me a
fine.
couple times too, so.
I mean, I would have actually maybe not even thought about Surf, but it did pay off for you a lot later on when you got burned. It seems like quite often, unfortunately.
Yeah, I got really lucky and really unlucky at points, but still, yeah.
How happy were you when you came across that Yanma?
Oh, you don't even know. I had to double take at the screen because I had forgotten to repel. I meant to repel when I stepped onto the grass tile or the water, whatever it was.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it took you. I guess you're still a little bit learning, but for the Lugia's room, you want to enter the top right room. That's actually the only one they can do.
Yeah, I haven't done the Lugia room run in, gosh, probably like since I originally played Silver in like 02.
No worries.
Yeah.
You did really good. I guess my only final critique is that when you had 30 money at the end, what you could have done is sold 4 different berries to get 50 to buy a mail to finish you up.
That is genius. I will keep that in mind for next time.
No worries. Do you have any other questions, Fancy One, before we kind of wrap it up?
Nothing here for me, except I just want to shout out losing 17 coin flips in a row with that Mewtwo. That was cool.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Unfortunately, we are up against the end of our slot here, so we do have to wrap things up.
Sounds good. Good game to cdinprov, my opponent, even though they're not in chat, and I hope everyone else has a great day. Cheers, folks.
Thank you all for joining. Stay tuned. There will be another run here, not Pokemon Crystal. It will be a different run, but more content to come on this channel. Thank you all so much for joining us here, and remember, 2 o'clock tomorrow for the next Crystal Bingo game.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Okay, so there we go. Needless to say, the other guy did great. But hey, look, we had a much better time with our Snorlax friend than we did anybody else, so that was good. And